quest episode of Talk This.
It's dangerous to podcast alone.
I'm your older host, Madelyn.
I'm your younger, more youthful host, Emma.
Harsh. Yeah, I feel like I don't talk much on the show. I mean, I think people know. I assume
if you've been following, at least.
If you've been following, you certainly know. And if you really listen with any degree of care, it's probably pretty obvious who is older and who is younger.
Yes, because I'm so mischievous and sprightly.
Those are exactly the two words I would use to describe you, Emma. You're absolutely right.
Yes. And Madelyn is wizened and wise.
Welcome to this wizened and sprightly episode of Talk This. It's a side quest episode, which means that this week we're not talking about two games, one old and one new. Instead, we're talking about a whole mishmash of topics. It's an anthology, if you will, a greatest hits collection of all of the best hits of our side quest formats from this point. I almost said from this point forward, up to this point.
Mm-hmm.
So we're going to get some save data. We're going to get some off-topic corner. The weather report, which is a really good pun that we've come up with here. It's really the joke of every week.
Mm-hmm.
The traffic report, another good pun. And the question of the fortnight. Not that fortnight.
Mm-hmm.
So, Emma, we'll jump into segment number 1. What have you been playing? What's on your, if you're really throwing it back, what's on your memory card from these past 2 weeks?
Well, I've still been getting my way through Octopath Traveler. Couple of developments. One, there is some dialogue between characters that happens during stories. They call it travel banter. And it's like between the character whose story is going on and like the characters currently in your party. Which is like, most of them are fine, but I've been kind of troubled. Like, so Therion's always in my party, right? Because he's my protagonist. He's the thief. And I guess it was mostly during Tressa's story, who is the merchant girl. And her whole chapter 1, I just want to put out there, is about how, like, thieving is bad and, like, you know, buying things from people that they've made is important. And yet, both their travel conversations, because one happened during Therion's story and one happened during Tressa's story, have been about, like, how they're suited to their respective trades. And, like, no, Tressa would not be approving of Therion's, like, habits.
Yeah.
Like, one of my thoughts in this whole thing has to do with, like, the path actions, because, like, I go get Tressa from the inn when there's something I really want to steal, but my odds aren't good. So it's just like, he just like goes to the inn, is like, can you buy me that? I've only got a 50% chance. I don't want to risk it. It's nonsensical, and it really bugs me. But other than that, like, it's fun. That we've just got secondary jobs, so everybody has a secondary job now, which is really nice.
Wait, what?
Therion, like, they have, like, main jobs. Like, Therion is a thief. Tressa is a merchant, and then you can equip them secondary jobs. So right now, Therion is also a dancer, which means he has different skills.
That's a hilarious
skills.
combo.
Yeah, I know, right? But he has support skills that are sort of passive, and then you have active skills that you, like, use during battle. So Therion, like, dancers have a bunch of buff skills, so everybody's stats goes up, and then thieves have a couple of debuff skills. So he just buffs and debuffs throughout all battles.
Same.
Yeah, and I have, like, 4 different people who can heal now, which is really nice, so I can always have a healer in the party. Yeah. So it's, like, really addictive, but also supremely frustrating in a lot of ways.
Isn't that part of the addictiveness, though? The fact that it's kind of frustrating, it sort of keeps you wanting to come back for more?
I guess, but the frustrating part is not, like there's, like, a real challenge. It's like the frustrating part is, like, I'm really frustrated that they didn't do something better with these characters in the story of the game. And I'm also really frustrated that side quests give you nothing to go on most of the time for what to do.
Whoa, let's not denigrate side quests that give you nothing to go on, okay?
That's very true.
Know your audience.
Sometimes it's obvious. I'll give you that. And sometimes it is really not obvious. And it just is, I don't know what to do at all. Which is annoying. But other than that, I also played a little bit of Final Fantasy 15 in order to get some footage for the playlist that just came out. Despite all my frustrations with that game, which go watch the playlist if you're wondering what some of them are, it's just really fun. And it's like double the fun when you've got Prince Noodletus on all the time. So
Prince Noodletus is really an inspired creation. Like, good on whoever's creation that was. Well done. I haven't even played the game, and I think Prince Noodletus is a real work of art.
He really is. And it makes all of Prompto's photos like 10 times better.
Plus, Emma, you're forgetting about all the games we played together while you were here visiting New York.
Oh, yeah. We played probably not very many games, actually, because I was only there for 2 nights.
It's possible, though, that you played some games while you were here, isn't it?
Gee, maybe we did.
It's hard to remember.
In the past.
It's so long ago now that
it was
today
a whole
is Sunday.
Day ago.
Yes.
I have a Switch carrying case now, so it's possible I brought Octopath Traveler with me.
Well, isn't that an exciting development that already occurred?
Yes.
Well, aside from the many riveting hours of gameplay that Emma and I shared together while she was visiting Tuckus NYC HQ this week, which need no explanation, really, so I won't go into them. I know what you've all been waiting for. Why, yes, it's the Adventures of Champ McDude!
Yeah!
I feel like it needs a little, like, mini theme song.
It really does.
I'll talk to Clickbait Boyfriend. Champ McDude, he's had an eventful couple weeks, sort of. I haven't really actually played that much Persona, but a lot has happened for Champ McDude. Despite the feeling here at Talk This NYC HQ that it was unlikely that McDude was actually going to make it to Hawaii, because I had watched the television, they talked about the typhoon, I was like, there's no way they're actually going to go. They did go to Hawaii. And the only purpose of the typhoon was to direct Yusuke also to Hawaii.
Yes.
Which I suppose I should have guessed. And yeah, going to Hawaii was really super boring, except that I loved that loading screen Champ McDude wore a lei.
Yeah, I know, right?
That was really, that was like, great. That payoff, I guess, was worth it, but the rest of it was like, ugh, nothing's happening. We're just like whining about everything's like Japan.
Who'd you go on your beach date with?
Shoji girl.
Oh, yeah.
My other option was Ryuji.
What? You turned down your bro?
Ryuji is already at level 9, so it didn't feel like a good use of my time.
Ryuji's just always there for you.
Ryuji and Mishima went, like, lady hunting, and I felt like
you just abandoned Mishima. Poor Mishima. That's what happened.
They really just, like, crap on him all the time. They're like, what a loser. He's still interested in the fan site, even though we're overseas. Like, I'm sorry. These people are treating vacation like your work doesn't follow you everywhere you go. So, good for you, kids.
You also met Girl with Face Portrait, right?
Girl with Face Portrait?
The girl who is definitely not a main character, but has a face portrait.
Oh, right. Yeah, I mean, we've already gotten past that point.
Oh, okay.
We are now not deep into the palace, but we are struggling a little bit in the palace. So we met Beauty Thief and Morgana, and we convinced the spoiler alert, I guess. This game is pretty old now, right? But whatever.
A whole year.
More than a year. 2
no,
years.
A year.
No. Oh, you're right, because you were still talking about it coming out when we started the podcast.
Yes.
Okay, fine. Spoiler alert. Sorry. The Adventures of Champ McDude come with a spoiler alert.
Yes, I'm sure people are aware of that.
Always. I'll make sure it's written into the theme song. So we got into the palace, met Beauty Thief and Morgana, convinced Morgana to come back to our team, as we all knew that he would. It's amazing how many days they it's nice, I get it, it's a whole year, but I hate it when it's 10 days in a row. I don't get to decide what Champ McDude is doing. It's really frustrating. Also, even when Morgana was gone, Champ was like, I should probably go to sleep. Which was really, really ridiculous. I thought with the cat out of the house, I would be able to get to stay up late and do whatever I want. And no, Champ's a whipped little weakling.
Morgana has imparted himself upon your consciousness.
I was pissed. Anyway, now we're in the palace. We're trying to collect these ID cards. I thought we start with that boss right off the bat, which I was like, I'm not ready for this. But it was easy. Mm-hmm. And we're trying to collect these ID cards. And we got 2 of them, and I'm having a really hard time getting the 3rd.
Switch up your party members.
It's not the party members that's the problem. It's that I can't get them to laugh.
What?
So we're trying to get the ID cards from, the mini-boss guys, right? And you, gather intel and you talk to them. And you try to figure out if he's the right guy.
Mm-hmm.
You remember this?
Yes.
So one of my clues is that he laughs gra-ha-ha. But I can't get any of them to laugh. 3 of them have talked about it being, about the past and their past glories. And that's a clue. But it's not good enough. I need a laugh.
You just gotta talk to everybody.
Yeah, so Clickbait Boyfriend was like, oh, try telling them that you're the Phantom Thieves. I don't think that's funny. And then it attacked me and killed me.
Of course.
So, we'll try that again. Hopefully, we'll get past that. I mean, we will get past that, but it's been a little frustrating. So that's the Adventures of Champ McDude. That's where we're at, McDude-san. Getting up to some business. In other gaming stuff, I've had some frustrating open world game experiences. As I sort of talked about, I think, on the podcast last week, in both Breath of the Wild and Skyrim, I've been having some issues with just not having enough direction about where to go, and wandering into things that are too difficult, although how would I know they were too difficult? There's no way for me to know. Mm-hmm. So that's been stalling my progress in those games somewhat. So perhaps I just need to commit a little bit more to one of them as opposed to having to relearn the controls every time I
That might help.
Could help. Might not, but could help. And I'm hoping to play some more Portal soon. Oh, other stuff. In Kingdom Hearts world, in the past 2 weeks, I think. No, it was the past 2 weeks. We watched... I had already watched it, but I watched Recoded the very highlights with Clickbait Boyfriend.
That's spoilers, though.
What?
You haven't watched Days yet, right?
Well, no, but he didn't understand. That's the spoiler. It's who's the black-haired girl?
Gee. I don't know. Who is the black-haired girl?
And, okay, so spoilers for the eventual blog that will come out of this, but I thought this was so funny. He got so excited, he saw, Zigbar's name in the credits, and it was, the same as Braig or something. He got so excited by that he missed young Xehanort in the credits. They're, literally right next to each other. He's like, Braig is Zigbar! Braig is Zigbar! And, young Xehanort just, scrolls on by.
Oh, gee.
So pure.
I'm glad it took him looking at the credits to realize that Braig is Zigbar.
It wasn't exactly that. Yeah. So that's the save data. Hopefully in the next week I'm going to be able to finish Birth by Sleep, because we're actually at the same point now and he won't play past me. Mm-hmm. So I'm going to hopefully finish it because I'm going to have the apartment to myself.
Yeah. So
that's been save data, which brings us to this side quest's weather report. Emma, weather what this week? Wither the weather.
Well, this topic comes from, speaking of Kingdom Hearts, Kingdom Hearts 3 is going to reportedly have over 80 hours of content, containing all the bonus stuff, give or take based on player style, with the main campaign taking 40 to 50 hours.
I enjoyed that the article I read on it was like, some players might pimp out their gummy ships and spend a lot of time on that. And I was like, okay. So shave like
Somebody
10 hours
will.
off of that in there.
But I was thinking about it because I'm very excited for Kingdom Hearts 3. And I was wondering whether we'd ever platinum a game. Me and Madelyn, what is the percent chance? Because I don't think, and obviously some games take more effort than others, but I don't think I've ever platinumed a game. And by platinumed, I mean like completed it to its fullest and gotten all the trophies or achievements that you can possibly get from a game. And then like for on the PlayStation, for instance, you get the nice platinum trophy saying that you did everything.
Well, I'm thinking back. So before they did Kingdom Hearts Final Mix, and it's like everything is impossible, and there's just like a million stupid little things you have to do, and you probably have to do the dumb like Tarzan game and whatever. Platinuming the game was like, you basically had to do that to unlock the secret movie. You had to like forge Ultima Weapon, you had to find all the Dalmatians, that kind of thing.
Well, it depends on what difficulty you're playing on. I don't think you have to do, like, at least, like, the secret bosses, for instance. You would have to do those to platinum.
Yeah, and see, that's what I'm saying. I feel like before we switched over to Final Mix, and there was, like, more content and stupid colors and stuff, that we, I feel like when I played through Kingdom Hearts as a senior in high school, that, you know, I probably got, like, 97.5% platinum, which isn't equivalent, obviously, and I probably never will beat the Phantom because it's BS.
Yeah.
But that's, I feel like, the closest I've gotten probably ever. I think that there are some like very simple games that I could see myself doing it, right?
Yeah.
Like,
it's just that I feel like everything's so obsessed with throwing in like collectibles of some kind now, and I just don't have the patience for collectibles.
What do you mean?
Like every game has like something you collect
Oh, gotcha,
on top
yeah.
of like doing the story. It's not necessarily like collectible physical objects, but there's like something you get in addition to everything, which I'm fine with in some games, especially if I can like in Kingdom Hearts 2 Final Mix, for instance, there's all those stickers.
Mm-hmm.
And like even if you can't get them yet, you can see them where they are, and you can know where they are and come back and get them. Whereas with other collectibles, it's like either you just can't go back at all if it's like a linear game, or you wouldn't know where they were until you were able to get them or something. And I just don't have the patience for that. It just, like, you know.
I think if there was a game, the problem that I have frequently with the kind of trophy requirements is I don't have time, or most of the time really the interest, to play a game more than once.
Mm-hmm.
And if it has any kind of requirements of like, you have to beat it on every difficulty level, or if it's like Kingdom Hearts, it's like, you have to beat it on level 1 with no equipment in under 5 hours, or whatever. It's like, yeah, no. Like, I have so many games that I have to play that I don't have time to play. Like, putting aside the fact that, do I really have time to play as much video games as I do? Well, of course I do. We all deserve hobbies and a break, Madelyn, but not really. So it's just like, if it was a game where I could reasonably do, like, where it was possible for me to do it in a single playthrough to get trophies, then I think there would be a greater than 50% possibility that I would do it.
Yeah.
Because I am a completionist within reason.
Yeah. I mean, I've just always thought of platinuming as something, like, I've never done it, but it's like a symbol of how much you like a game to me, right? Like, you do it when you really, really love a game, and you want to express that love to your friends online or whatever.
But would you do it for Kingdom Hearts 3? I feel like there's going to be, like, stupid, impossible ones.
I'm sure there will. And I'm sure I would have to do it. like, I would not be playing it. I'm not going to play it my first time through on Critical because I'm a wimp. I'm going to do it on Proud.
Oh, speaking of which, a rewind to the save data. So Josh and I are both playing Aqua right now, but he's playing on regular and I'm playing on Proud. Oh man, what a pile of poo about how much easier his game is. Oh.
Yeah.
Anyway. But yeah, I feel like, I don't know. Some of it seems a little bit silly, especially when you can just kind of, like, it's not really... You're right, I guess it just shows how much you love a game, because you can just look up where anything is online and what you need and how to do it, right?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
Whereas even in the days of strategy guides, not everything you would need would always be in there or easy to understand.
Yeah.
And now it's like, well, I don't feel that much incentive, you know, in sort of pre-YouTube gaming, or good quality YouTube gaming, right? There really was an incentive to, like, do stuff to unlock secret movies, and I realize that's not the same as Platinum, but oftentimes it's almost the same. But now it's like, I don't really feel like tracking down every single special star or whatever I would need for any given game. I'll just watch it on YouTube.
Yeah.
So I think on the whole, there's probably a good chance at some point that I platinum a game, but probably just by accident because it has not very difficult trophies.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Probably the same for me.
Well, thanks for tuning in. That was the weather. And now, come on in, pull up a chair, hop on in the beanbag, because we're cozying up into the off-topic corner.
Heck yeah.
And this week in the off-topic corner, we're talking about celebrations. So we've got a lot to celebrate here at Talk This in the past couple of weeks. Biggest, most important one is that it was Emma's birthday last week.
Yeah.
So happy birthday to Emma. Best part of being 20? Looking forward to stuff about 21?
Oh, I was gonna say, Malin. I was like, best part about being 20.
I don't know.
Excuse me. I'm 21 now. I thought you were asking,
I was doing a looking back and a looking forward kind of thing.
I see. There's not much difference. I have my own savings account now.
Exciting.
Very exciting. Yeah. My credit card expired and I got a new one and it is ugly. Looks like yellow snow. So that's that. My driver's license is still the under 21 one and will remain that way until I'm like 25.
More than that. Mine is like until I'm 28.
Until eternity. And yeah, that's about how I feel about it.
Well, happy birthday to you, Emma.
Thanks.
Many happy returns. The really important thing is that now you're old enough to enter Barcade.
Oh yeah. We probably did not go this visit though.
Josh and I discussed it, but decided that yes, it did not seem like the greatest idea for this visit, but perhaps someday.
Which we already decided.
Yes, I mean it was already decided, but we had discussed it even more previously, perhaps even early in the week. And decided not to include it in our plans.
Yeah.
Also, we're celebrating occasional co-host Talk This littlest sister Melena's birthday.
Yeah.
Who's probably going to grow up to be the best gamer out of any of us.
Yeah.
Really. And probably...
She, doesn't get frustrated.
Yeah, it's true. She really just kind of keeps playing.
It's really, magical.
We'll see if that continues. I can't imagine that really maintains itself. So happy birthday to our tied for third most frequent co-host.
Yes.
And perhaps less significantly, it's the 1-year anniversary of the establishment of Talk This New York City HQ.
Heck yeah.
Which is cool. Definitely got more into gaming this year with the presence of not one but two systems in the apartment, which is swell. Looking forward to continuing to enjoy games on my 14-inch TV screen for another year to come. So it's been nice to have a kind of gaming alcove here in New York. And this is very late, but if you didn't know, Talk This podcast is over a year and a half old.
I know, it's crazy.
Well over a year and a half old. In fact, approaching 20 months at a rapid clip.
It's like walking now.
I know, it's a toddler. It's Madelyn.
Where did the time go?
It's a little bit hard to control.
Yeah.
So thanks for sticking with us, or if you're new, thanks for joining us here. We're looking forward to many happy returns on this 19-month anniversary of Talk This. We've got a lot to celebrate this week, listeners. We hope you're celebrating too. So let's all raise a glass of whatever your drink of choice / pop some party poppers / blow out some candles here in the off-topic corner.
And that leads us straight into our traffic report.
Beep,
so
beep.
Put that drink down because we're driving.
No drinking and driving, listeners.
Yeah.
We got some traffic to lay on ya. So on our blog these past 2 weeks, we have not one, but 2 editions of the newest Talk This blog series, Split Screen, which is a subsidiary of Watch This, a Talk This podcast production. On Split Screen, if you didn't already know, we watch half of an episode because they're over an hour long, and who's got the time, people? Of Boys Over Flowers, which is a K-drama from the early 2010s. And we watch a full episode because there's only really 10 minutes of content in each one anyway.
That is just a huge exaggeration.
I was kidding. That was a joke. Of My Hero Academia, the popular anime series about heroes in hero school.
Yes.
So it's been an eventful couple of weeks on both of those shows. There's been a lot of threats of death and betrayals and flashbacks with music on both. And generally just some crazy roller coaster rides of emotions. So we recommend you check those out. They're really, I think that they hold up even if you don't watch the shows.
Yeah, you might read a summary if you're feeling lost.
Yeah.
But
they're best enjoyed if you've been watching the whole series. They are 95% enjoyed if you just watched the episodes that we talked about. I feel like both of these shows, less so with My Hero Academia than with Boys Over Flowers, but you can jump in, so don't feel like to catch up you have to watch 15 episodes of television.
Yeah.
So they are 95% enjoyable if you've watched just the episodes we're talking about, and I think they're probably at least 75% funny, even if you haven't watched the episodes. So tune on in to that. There'll be another one coming up tomorrow, because tomorrow is Monday.
Yep.
A split screen wherein we actually watched the episodes together. Fun fact.
Yeah.
Also, we've got the inaugural edition of Clickbait Boyfriend, Birth by Sleep. In which I made a meme, so you should really tune in just for that, because I thought it was pretty funny, and I was pretty darn proud of myself. But yeah, so Clickbait Boyfriend starts Ventus's story. He's very confused at many of the resemblances, and generally just says some stupid stuff, so it's just the Clickbait Boyfriend content you know and love. So check that out. I'm going to try to be updating that regularly on Tuesdays from now on. That's kind of the plan. Although it might have to go on hiatus in mid-August, or at the end of August, unless I can really get ahead of things. So we'll see. But we're going to try to update that on a weekly basis from now on, too. Split Screen's weekly schedule has inspired me. So coming up the pipeline, Split Screen on Monday, Clickbait Boyfriend on Tuesday. Emma's got X Thoughts in X Hours on Octopath Traveler. That's in the...
I'm trying to make little comics for it, so it's taking a little longer than it might.
It's in the pipeline, so check that out soon on our blog. It's www.talkthispodcast.com. While you're there, you can also check out our longest running series, Buzz This, wherein I take video game themed BuzzFeed quizzes. You can check out the original kind of couple of Watch This episodes. There's all sorts of good stuff on the blogs. We really recommend you take a look. Plus, on the website, you can read more about us, more about the podcast, check out the games that are in the hat, read the show notes.
Yeah.
Remember those?
Those are fun.
And all of that good stuff.
On our YouTube channel, which is Talk This Sisters, we have a bunch of fun content there. A new Play This just came out, which is my series about using gameplay as storytelling and other related topics that focuses on Final Fantasy 15 and Yakuza 0 and their mishmash of tones between their gameplay and their cutscenes. So look into that. There's also Clickbait Boyfriend mini vlogs, and sometimes there's Flashback Fridays to some of our old episodes so that you don't have to go through the backlog for everything. Yes. So that's nice.
Flashback Fridays has been on a little bit of a hiatus in July, as my schedule was particularly heavy. I'm hoping that it will be back soon, if it's not already.
Yeah. And I promised this in my latest Play This, but I will have some sort of content for the Adventures of Noodletus idea that I've been trying to launch off the ground.
You mean that you've been noodling around with?
I've been noodling around with. But you can see a preview with some of the gameplay stuff with some of Prompto's best snapshots on our Facebook page.
That's right. Listeners, we are on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. All Talk This Podcast. While you're there, you'll see links to our blogs, so you won't have to just be refreshing the blog page. Although you could do that too if you're a real fan. I won't tell you what to do. But you'll see links to our blog content. You'll sometimes see our thoughts on the games that we're playing as we're playing them. You'll see links to some content that we discuss in the episodes. I posted some speed runs that we talked about on the past episode. There's articles, all sorts of fun stuff. So you really should follow us for all the updates. Plus, you get to see memes most of the time, and funny images that we find when we are trying to promote our stuff to you. One last traffic report item. If you haven't subscribed to us already, what are you waiting for? We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Google Podcasts / Google Play, we're on Stitcher, we're on TuneIn, we're on Spotify, we're basically on any podcast platform that you use, so you should really check us out. Subscribe so you never miss an episode. We always release at noon on Sundays. But you should also, while you're there, maybe leave us a review. Leave us a rating. We like to hear your feedback. And you can also always send us our feedback as a direct message on any of our social media platforms, as a comment, or you can email us, talk to us at talkthispodcast.com. And I believe that concludes this week's Beep Beep Traffic Report.
That leaves us with just one more segment, so Madelyn, why don't you give us our question of the fortnight?
All right, Emma, this week's question of the fortnight is inspired by a question we do questions at my job too, so it's inspired by a question we were talking about there, but it is, what is your ideal gaming snack spread? So it's always good. I don't know about you, Emma, I often eat while I play video games, just because I often eat. So when you're gaming, you're in the middle of kind of an intense gaming sesh, middle of the afternoon, you don't want to stop for a snack, that kind of thing, or late at night, you've already had dinner, but you want to have a late night snack. What kind of snacks do you want available to you in your wildest dreams?
Man, that's hard. It's just so hard to eat while playing games for me.
I know.
Just because neither of your hands are free.
That's why you gotta pick strategically.
Well, why don't you, since you're more experienced with it, Madelyn, why don't you enlighten us first?
No, I'm not super good at it. I am generally someone who throws a lot of food on myself when I eat, and on the bed. So generally I just live in kind of a crumb-filled void. But so yeah, you don't want anything, really the important thing is, it can't be anything really that requires two hands, because then you're really having to pause the game a lot, as opposed to just kind of grabbing quick stuff during cutscenes where you can still kind of X your way forward, right? So it's gotta be a one-handed snack. It's gotta be, it can't, get on your fingers. I'm not a big fan of Cheetos to begin with. But like it can't be something like that where you're gonna get Cheeto dust on your hands or anything complicated.
Yeah.
And it has to be something that you're kind of gonna enjoy when you're eating it while not paying attention to it. So you don't want it to be anything too fancy, because you're gonna want to sit down and enjoy that for real. Now, if you're me, I like to have kind of a variety of flavors in my snacks.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe I'll link to my favorite video of late. Have you seen the Snacks Baby?
I have not seen the Snacks Baby.
Oh my gosh, it's like snacks. I can't do it very well. Snacks. I'll post the YouTube as a promo for this video. Snacks Baby.
Okay.
You really should see it. It's really funny. But I like to have a variety in my snacks. So I'll get my like healthy choice out of the way right away. I want some like blackberries or blueberries. Something nice and sweet, nice and refreshing, make you feel good while you're otherwise eating junks. So I'm gonna have some berries, not strawberries, those are too hard to eat. Probably not raspberries, because those disintegrate. Like a good blueberry, good blackberry. Could be persuaded to eat those. I'm also gonna want... Man, I just thought about Chex Mix, and I was like, yes, Chex Mix. Because I really like Chex Mix. So we're going to include some Chex Mix, because that's got the savory thing. The bold variety. The bold and vibrant. It's like bold and something.
That gets stuff on your fingers, though.
It's worth it. I laid out the rules so I can break them. I know the rules. I can break them. I've got a napkin, because I need one. Ooh, I know. Man, this is a throwback. Do they even still make dibs anymore?
I'm sure they do somewhere.
Okay, so dibs. Because I was like, often I eat ice cream while I game, but that's kind of annoying because, like, I throw it on myself pretty much always. But dibs. Dibs would be great. So I'm in there for some dibs. I could add a lot more to mine. Maybe I'll throw one more at the end of this, but Emma, come on, give us some snacks. Snacks.
I guess if I was going for sweet, I would go for Skittles. So that's a nice treat that has the hard shell so it doesn't get in your fingers. And there's no risk with it, unlike M&Ms that you could, like, crush accidentally and get chocolate everywhere.
Did you know I learned today that Skittles don't actually have different flavors? They're just different colors and fragrances.
Well, that does not shock me, because so is everything else. And then I guess if I was going healthy, it sounds a little fancy, but I think I can do it one-handed, is either have some carrots or some peppers with some ranch dressing that you can dip in.
Nice.
Yeah. So that gets the healthy and the sweet. I think anything chip-like is just asking for trouble to get onto my controllers.
Combos? I'd considered combos as well.
I'm not huge on combos, actually.
Well, forget you.
Yeah.
Well, I'm trying to think if I can add, like, one more kind of bonus snack. I'll eat anything while I play video games, though. That's the truth. I mean, the classic thing would be to, like, pizza rolls or something, but come on. We're fancy here at Talk
Maybe
This.
some sliced apples.
Oh my gosh. Emma's so healthy. She's like,
with
I'll
my
have
Skittles,
some carrots. Yeah. It's gonna be a little hard, but I'll have some carrots. Yeah. So that's what we'd be chowing down on when we play video games. That's a lie, though. I eat everything while I play video games.
If we had the time and the effort required to do so. But listeners, if you could make your ideal snack spread to eat while playing games, what would it be? Tell us on social media, or by leaving us a comment on the website, or by leaving us a review on Apple Podcasts, or by shooting us an email at talktous@talkthispodcast.com.
You could be featured on our social media.
Yeah.
So yeah, let us know, have you ever platinumed a game? What do you like to eat while you're platinuming a game and spending like hundreds of hours on it? Because we know you need fuel. What have you been playing this week? Do you have anything to celebrate? And have you liked anything that we've written on our blog?
Yeah.
Lots of questions for you this week as we enter August. Hopefully you're staying cool wherever you are, listeners. Thanks for tuning in this week. We're staying cool, because we always are.
Always.
Was that cool? Was that a cool thing to say?
So cool. Take us out with a
next week, on our full episode, we'll be talking about Nancy Drew. Nancy Drew. I'm so excited. and a new game that I haven't heard of.
Yeah. Sea of Thieves.
Sea of Thieves. I feel like there's a book I've heard of called Sea of Thieves.
Probably.
It's actually just Persona 5. Or it's Octopath Traveler. Thieves and thieves on thieves. Thievery everywhere.
Yep.
So watch your pockets this week, listeners. There are thieves among us. And Emma, do you want to wish everyone well on our way out of their ears?
Well, I just hope you have the coolest